Hello, thank you for joining us. This is the news on NT International. We are live in Abuja. My sign language interpreter is Bamidele, and I am Charles Alpha. First, let's bring you some of our top stories. Nigeria renews its push to strengthen economic ties with Spain, repositioning the country as a key partner between Africa and Europe. A chief of the air staff meets U.S. partners to fast-track acquisition of attack helicopters. Citizens gather at Bolivar Square in Bogota to protest against U.S. operations in Venezuela. President Bola Tinubu has praised corporate Nigeria citizens and other stakeholders in the Nigerian capital markets for surpassing the 100 trillion milestone on the Nigerian exchange. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. President Tinubu described this record achievement as an inspiration for the investing public operating in the money and capital markets. He urged Nigerians to deepen their investments in the local economy, assuring that 2026 will yield even greater returns as his administration's economic reforms continue to deliver stronger outcomes, with the Nigerian exchange crossing the historic 100 trillion naira market capitalization mark. The country is witnessing the birth of a new economic reality and rejuvenation. Nigeria is intensifying efforts to attract Spanish investment, aiming to reposition its economy as a strategic bridge between Europe and Africa. The push was led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, during a high-level engagement with Spain's leading business confederation, the Spanish Confederation of Business Organizations. A statement by the minister's media aide, Al-Qasim Abdulkadri, says the meeting is a deliberate move to reset Nigeria's bilateral economic relationship with Spain. It says the minister highlighted Nigeria's reform trajectory, demographic advantage, and continental trade access while aligning with Spain's economic and migration policy interests. Yusuf Tugar specifically seeks a long-term framework for Nigeria, including productive capital, technology transfer, and value chain partnerships beyond the traditional energy and gas sector, he says. Nigeria is shifting from an oil-dependent economy to a stabilized economy driven by diverse non-oil sectors like agriculture and agro-processing, infrastructure, industrial development, business process, outsourcing, technology, and creative industry. Tugar says Nigeria remains Africa's largest market and a natural gateway to West and Central Africa, noting that investment anchored in the country can access the continental market of over 1.3 billion people under the African Continental Free Trade Area. The minister concludes by assuring the Spanish investors of ongoing reforms to improve the ease of doing business, regulatory transparency, and investor protection, while inviting Spanish firms to see the country not as a risk frontier, but as a platform of opportunity for sustainable Europe-Africa growth. And in a strategic move to enhance the operational capacity of the Nigerian Air Force, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, led a program management review meeting with senior United States government officials and representatives of MESSRS Bell Textron in San Diego, California, USA. The management focused on fast-tracking the acquisition of 12 AH-1Z attack helicopters, a critical capacity, a capability-enhanced professional and mission-ready force capable of delivering decisive air power in attainment of national security objectives. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ihimen Ejodame, indicates that Air Marshal Aneke expressed appreciation to the United States government and MESSRS Bell Textron for their continued cooperation, professionalism, and transparency in the execution of the helicopter acquisition program. The Air Chief noted that the acquisition of the AH-1Z helicopters represents more than a platform upgrade, describing it as a reflection of the enduring defense cooperation between Nigeria and the United States. Reaffirming the NAV's sense of urgency and commitment, Marshal Aneke assured the U.S. team that his administration will take all necessary measures to ensure the helicopters are delivered in the shortest possible time, while expressing gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for his unwavering support to the Nigerian Air Force as regards platform acquisition. Marshal Sunday Aneke reassured Nigerians of the NAV's unwavering commitment to eliminating terrorists and criminal threats with professionalism, restraints, and accountability, while sustaining public trust and confidence in the service operations. Turkey's Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan has accused the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces of being the main obstacle to peace and stability in Syria, insisting the group must abandon what he described as terrorism and separatism. Iran says it's prepared for both war and negotiations. Uche reports.
Turkey says its military is prepared to support Syria in its fight against Kurdish forces in Aleppo, should Damascus formally request assistance. A Turkish Defense Ministry officially made the statement on Thursday as violence escalates in northern Syria. Ankara's top diplomat also confirmed that Turkey has been working intensively with Syrian and U.S. officials in an effort to contain the unrest and prevent further bloodshed. Deadly clashes broke out earlier this week between Syrian government troops and the Kurdish-dominated Syrian Democratic Forces after negotiations collapsed over a year-end deadline to integrate Kurdish fighters into Syria's national military. The Defense Ministry official said Turkey stands ready to act if called upon, reinforcing Ankara's long-standing offer to provide military assistance to Syria's new Islamist-led government. However, Kurdish leaders continue to demand decentralized governance, a position rejected by Syria's new authorities, stalling the deal and fueling rising tensions. Meanwhile, Turkey's parliamentary speaker Numan Kurtulmus cautioned against Israeli involvement after Israel's foreign minister criticized the Syrian government's operation in Aleppo as dangerous for minority groups. Kurtulmus rejected those claims, warning against attempts to inflame ethnic, religious or sectarian divisions and insisting that Israel does not act in the interest of Syria's Kurdish population. In another news, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran is not seeking war but is fully prepared for both conflicts and negotiations. He made the remarks upon arriving in Beirut for talks with Lebanese leaders as tensions continue to escalate in the region. His comments came amid intensified Israeli airstrikes across southern and eastern Lebanon, with Israel saying it has targeted positions linked to the Iran-backed militant groups and its Palestinian ally, Hamas.
Citizens have gathered at Bolivar Square in Bogota to protest against U.S. operations in neighboring Venezuela, following a call by Colombia's President Gustavo Petro.
President Donald Trump had indicated that a similar operation in Colombia would be acceptable. Analyst Mauricio Yaramillo warned that any military escalation, especially a war, would cause an unstoppable humanitarian crisis and catastrophe for Latin America. Colombia, under its first leftist president, has constantly criticized the U.S. action in the region. These include naval deployment, boat bombing, oil tanker seizures, and the operation to remove Maduro. These criticisms have angered President Trump, who has accused Petro of being a drug baron and issued a stem warning. Colombia shares a long, porous border with Venezuela and has taken in millions of Venezuelan migrants. This makes it especially vulnerable to the devastating effect of any conflict. Yaramillo said Colombia cannot be fully prepared for a such scenario, especially since Latin America is divided over Trump's action. Right-wing governments in Argentina and Ecuador support Maduro's removal, while leftist leaders in Brazil, Mexico and Colombia condemn it. Yaramillo explained that this regional division makes a unified response impossible. He added that while a U.S. military attack on Colombia is unlikely, the country would have a legitimate right to respond if needed.
Now, a fatal shooting involving a federal immigration officer has sparked outrage and protests in South Minneapolis after an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old American woman Wednesday at the intersection of East 34th Street and Portland Avenue. The victim, who was confirmed to be a U.S. citizen, died at the scene within hours, while demonstrators are demanding answers and accountability as to why an immigration officer was involved in an encounter with a civilian. In the aftermath of the shooting, footage shows protesters shouting at officers guarding the scene. Local reports indicate that the 37-year-old U.S. citizen was in her SUV observing federal activity when agents approached her. An ICE officer then allegedly fired at least 3 shots through the windshield as the vehicle moved forward, resulting in a fatal head wound. She was later declared dead at Hennepin Healthcare. ICE authorities have labeled the incident domestic terrorism, claiming the woman weaponized her vehicle and attempted to run down agents. President Trump supported this narrative, asserting the officer acted in self-defense against a professional agitator who violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer. He further blamed the radical left for escalating hostility towards law enforcement. Mayor Jacob Frey, however, strongly refuted the self-defense explanation as a garbage narrative and demanded ICE departure from Minneapolis. The FBI and the Minnesota BCA are currently investigating the full circumstances. And back in Nigeria, the cashew industry has the potential to rake in up to $10 billion in annual revenue and generates millions of jobs. This is said to be achieved through improvements in production and processing and packaging. Musa Babali reports.
Nigeria is a major player in global cashew production, ranking among the top producers in Africa and the world. Cashew is largely produced in states primarily in the southern and middle belt regions. Investigation revealed that production in Nigeria is often underreported due to informal trade and undocumented exports.
As it is, the Nigerian cashew industry has the capacity to create jobs for over 50 million Nigerians if it is properly harnessed.
In 2023, however, Nigeria's cashew production was estimated at around 234,000 metric tons, though export volumes suggest higher actual figure. For the 2025 harvest season, production is implied to exceed 400,000 metric tons, based on export figures with the National Cashew Association of Nigeria. Nigeria is to host 2026 National Conference as part of activities marking World Cashew Day.
This our conference is coming out in a way to enlighten the world, to show to the world that Nigeria is open for business and we have the capacity to lead in the Nigerian cashew industry. We don't want to produce inorganic cashew. We are promoting our organic cashew because that is where the interest is. We have the land, we have the population, we have the financial capacity.
Cashew accounted for 12.35% of Nigeria's non-oil exports in the last reported period, with overall non-oil exports surging 21% year-on-year. Africa overall cashew market is growing, with the continent's production valued at $856 million in 2024 and projected to reach $1.19 billion by 2033. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on NTA International. More reports ahead. Stay with us. Well, thank you for staying with us. The federal government has charged the management and staff of the Sustainable Power and Irrigation for Nigeria SPIN, a project to redouble their efforts towards achieving food security, effective dam management, and improved hydropower generation. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsef, gave the charge during a working visit to the SPIN project office in Abuja. The minister affirmed that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains committed to delivering on its renewed hope agenda across all sectors. As the flagship project under the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, with a mandate to scale irrigated farming, strengthen dam management, and boost hydropower generation, SPIN must intensify efforts to meet its targets. The minister expressed appreciation to the federal government and the World Bank for ensuring the smooth takeoff of the project, noting that SPIN will significantly enhance food production, improve hydropower generation, and create job opportunities for the teeming youth. Professor Utsef commended the management and staff of the project for the progress recorded so far and urged them to sustain the momentum. A national coordinator of SPIN, Ipilaye Elaya, expressed gratitude to the minister for unwavering support, which has contributed to the smooth takeoff of the project. He reaffirmed the commitment and determination of the SPIN team to deliver fully on its mandate. With abundant arable land, vast livestock resources, and a pool of talented youth, Nigeria and Nigerians have no reason to be poor. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mokhtar Meha, made the remark at the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the hide, skin, and beef value chain development hub, championed by the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project in Wamako local government area of Sokoto State. Yusuf Jika reports.
The hide, skin, and beef value chain development hub is designed to address critical gaps across the livestock value chain, from production and processing to storage and marketing. The project is expected to create jobs, reduce post-harvest losses, improve incomes for livestock producers, and enhance animal health, food safety, and environmental sustainability.
It's a conglomerate of livestock activities that will be linked with market linkage and with all the beneficiaries around this area and Sokoto as a whole. We assure you of adequate support in funding and adequate support in implementation.
The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mokhtar Meha, and the Sokoto State Governor, Amit Aliyu, have expressed commitment to effective collaboration and synergy to modernize the livestock industry, promote peaceful coexistence, and ensure that livestock-dependent communities are not left behind in the national development agenda.
Nigeria no longer wants to be seen as a country of potentials. Rather, we must turn our potentials into opportunities so that we can eradicate poverty. Social vices driven by unemployment and idleness can be a thing of the past. We have no reason to be poor.
This project aligns with our administration commitments to peace building, economic diversification, and inclusive development to complement ongoing security efforts.
Championed by the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, the hide, skin, and beef value chain development hub is expected to be completed within 18 months, adding significant value to one of Nigeria's major livestock hubs, Sokoto State. Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
And on politics ahead of the 2027 general elections, Labour Party has vowed to return to power across the country despite the exit of its 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi and majority of National Assembly members who were elected on its platform. At a solidarity meeting of members held in Abuja, the leadership pledged to rejig its structure as a major opposition party. David Ire reports.
This is the first official meeting of the party leaders with members aimed at affirming its preparedness for the 2027 general election after the defection of Mr. Peter Obi. Former vice presidential candidate of the party, Mr. Dati Baba Ahmed, is convinced that the party has what it takes to improve on its 2023 general election records and build a better Nigeria. He urged the Nigerians to ignore the philosophy of some transactional politicians who are always on transit in search of platforms to achieve their personal interest rather than building internal party discipline.
Labour Party is now free to learn from past errors and omissions and present best candidates in 2027. And to this end, I hasten to say that there is a whole generation of highly educated, experienced, and well-motivated Nigerians in the waiting to be led by a new kind of leader to a new kind of party.
Labour Party is a brand we have built. We built it for many years, and we have established it. And this brand, nothing can happen to it. And that was what we showed that made Nigerians to follow us in 2022 and 2023 general election.
Other leaders expressed joy that the factional crisis which brought the party to its knees is now over with the recent defection of Peter Obi and his supporters.
Labour Party is a party with a comprehensive ideology, and we believe in that ideology of the Labour Party.
We have weathered the storms, we have crossed the bridges, we have come out of the valleys, and Labour Party is standing strong. Nobody can kill Labour Party.
The party vowed to resolve all issues with INEC before the FCT local government election slated for February. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
Governor Basio of Cross River State is emphasizing the crucial role of local government administration in driving grassroots development and improving the lives of local residents, while swearing in Ebong Odama Ebong as the substantive chairman of Bekwara Local Government Council. The governor charged him to uphold the principles of accountability, humility, unity of purpose, and commitment to serving the people. Justina Itim reports.
Mr. Egbong Odama Egbong became the acting chairman of Bekwara Local Government Area on the 16th of June 2025 after the removal and subsequently acceptance of the resignation of the former chairman by the Cross River State's House of Assembly. Now, Governor Basio swears in Egbong as the substantive chairman, tasking him to deepen grassroots development while expressing confidence in his ability to deliver on the mandates.
We'll continue with our modus operandi, which is to respect elders. Position is not given for you to exert or become an emperor. Position is for you to serve the people. And I want you to serve with the knowledge that you're not the best. It could have been any other person, but God has chosen you at this particular time. So the only way that you pay God back responsibly is to make sure that you serve the people.
The new chairman pledges to serve diligently and responsibly.
To the Bekwara people, everybody should be ready that it's time to work. The office of the acting chairman was that I didn't have a vice chairman then, so I was combining all the works that the vice chairman is supposed to do, myself, and so it was tedious, but I thank God that today, as chairman of council, we're going to have a vice chairman that's going to be supportive.
With a wealth of experience, including a position as special advisor on local government affairs in the immediate past administration, Egbong is believed to be well equipped to lead Bekwara Local Government Area. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The National Park Service has confirmed that an investigation is underway following the tragic killing of 5 forest rangers by unidentified gunmen at Old Oyo National Park. In a statement issued by CPW Agbo Eba, Special Assistant to the Conservator General on Media, the service expressed deep sorrow over the loss and reaffirmed its commitment to working with relevant security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators of these heinous acts are identified and brought to justice. It says the service has reached out to the bereaved families to offer condolences and support during this difficult time, and the remains of the fallen personnel have been deposited at Lautech Teaching Hospital, Bomosho, pending the conclusion of investigations. And that is it on the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Charles Alpha.